Listen up, glitterbums. This is first Ghost Imaru talking. You're still trying to get through the witness's portal, huh? That ain't a door you can just kick open. You even passed some leftover worm for answers. Too bad she led you right to us. Now you need help from the one witch nobody can trust. My boss, Savathun. Even though she's temporarily dead, she left instructions for this very situation. As usual, you maggots are 3 steps behind. Savathun will help you on one condition. First, deal with her sister, Arath. She's the hive god of war and the witness's best general. It's a win-win, see? Don't look so sour. You've already got everything you need. I suggest you start with a witch of your own.
Guardian, the witness poses a dire threat, and the Witch Queen holds the answers we seek. But only if we contend with her sister. Imaru has promised us a method for defeating Arath, arranged by Savathun before her death. There is a spire atop her throne world's sanctum, a place of dire experiments where she abused the light. With this knowledge, Imaru and I have devised a powerful artifact infused with hive magic. It will allow you to dispel the Witch Queen's trickery and master the spire through a ritual of our own.
Even in death, the Witch Queen lays her snares for us. Be careful, Guardian.
This is a real privilege, so act like it. Savathun doesn't open a spire to just anyone.
If such a place exists.
Why lie, when the truth is so much more dangerous?
You are not the Witch Queen, and the Guardian is far more dangerous.
Please. Arath is too much for you to handle. You need our help.
And you need ours.
What is up, my Squirtleites? It is I, your king, welcoming you back to more Let's Play Destiny. Today, we begin Season of the Witch, the 3rd season of the Lightfall expansion campaign. And before we go up these stairs any further and get ourselves into a fight, I want to welcome you as I am going to show off right away how we're going to be going through this season, or what build we're going to be using for this entire season. And that is a Void-based build. Now, Void was not the premier element of this season. In fact, Void didn't really get a spotlight all year. The reason that we're specifically mentioning Void is because, well, it's the odd one out. Next season is going to be much more solar-focused, so I've decided to pick Void. Season of the Witch was actually quite a bit different because it instead focused on a lot of elemental artifacts. And the game just kind of gave me, for starting this season, it kind of gave me an artifact that allows me to do the same things as the next season artifact. So we've kind of just unlocked all that automatically by going into this one, which is a nice change. I don't like that the artifacts are only tied to the current season. You should have access to it no matter what content you're playing. So now we're finally going to be able to get ourselves power boosts and different artifacts. We'll go over all of this a little bit later. For right now, though, I just want to show off my build. So something I wanted to make sure I do before we even started with Season of the Witch was get myself this armor piece right here. This is Gyrfalcon's hauberk, and anyone who plays Hunter knows how essential this thing is to any Void build. It says, see me, feel me. Your Void weapons gain volatile rounds after you emerge from being invisible. When you are invisible and defeat a combatant while using a finisher, all your weapons gain bonus damage. You and your nearby allies gain a reserve overshield and improved class ability regeneration. These reserve overshields can be deployed by using a class ability. This whole last section of the armor piece is honestly optional. The Void weapons gaining volatile every time you emerge from invisibility is the best part about this thing, because every time you kill something that's volatile, you go invisible again. And that just triggers the volatile rounds over and over. So if you're using a good Void weapon, like, oh, I don't know, Graviton Lance, the amount of volatile that you can spread is just absurd. On top of that, I am going with a lot of grenade-based perks. I'm going with some damage resistances, although I wanted to have avoid reserves just because I would like to have more ammo for this thing because it runs out really quickly. And I'm running with powerful attractions so that I can heal myself every single time I dodge with all the orbs that will be surrounding me. We got Retrofit Escapade, which we've used in the past before. Fourth time's the charm, one for all. This works really well with Volatile. And then Ignition Code for some disorienting grenades and Field Prep Demo, although I am probably going to be swapping between this and my Until It's Return shotgun a lot throughout the season. But these two weapons right here are mostly going to be staples for this season. So without further ado, let's head on up the stairs. Let's get ourselves into a fight, and let's actually show how this works.
Imaru, tell your Lucent Hive to stand down.
Savathun's orders are for them to guard the spire. I'm sure your little glowworms can handle it.
Oh yeah, we got this thing. This is actually not going to be hard at all with the constant volatile. Now, another thing that's important to this build that I actually didn't even mention is I have the fragment that allows me to get Devour every single time I pick up a Void Breach. Now, because I have Devour, every time I'm getting a kill, I'm fully healing, which means that I don't have to really worry about things like overshields all that much. I'm not really concerning myself with that too much. And because Graviton Lance is basically a scout rifle with pulse rifle clothes on, I have insane range at all times at my disposal that I can use to take out pretty much anything that gets in my path. So double explosions and just constant volatility and healing. This is a really good build that's good pretty much no matter what perks you use. Now, the actual artifact for this season used things called elemental pickups. They decided to give pickups for all of the elements across the game. Think Tangles, but imagine that for also Arc, Void, Solar, and I think Stasis as well. And it was a whole lot of things that were... they were basically supposed to give us balls to carry that we could throw around and do damage with. And I'll just say right off the bat, it wasn't really a hit. It all kind of felt like a gimmick that never really took off, and people weren't really too all fond of them. They tried to give us certain artifact perks that made these things actually somewhat decent, like with resistance and extra damage and stuff like that, but it just never really kind of worked in the flow of the combat system because Tangles work due to the fact that you can grapple to them, and they are supplemental damage that you kind of just toss and then go about your business because they either unleash threadlings or they turn into a whirly bird or something along those lines. And then you can just go back to shooting stuff. The elemental pickups were a little bit too dependent on where you deployed them, and people didn't really like that combat loop too much. So it was a nice idea, but it didn't really turn out.
Like this. Resurrecting Savathun, using her magic. This is exactly what we wanted to avoid. The Witch Queen knew she could entice us with a common goal. Removing the threat of Xivu Araf.
Yeah. And she knew the Vanguard had a little hive acolyte of their own. That's why she's opening up her spire. She thinks you've got what it takes.
Void crystals bend reality through tightly channeled power. Shatter them to break their control.
Look at that. Look at that. That is just incredible. All right, I'm going to break these crystals if I can. Up. Can I? There we go. Punch them. That's the thing I want to be doing here.
Use that witch's staff to cast a little spell of your own. Spire's just up ahead. Don't need more than some lightless lackey's fancy eyes to see it.
This is where the Witch Queen fell, and you fled for your life. Remember that.
We should focus.
That was a fluke. Your guardians got lucky.
Really? How many of your apostate ghosts have seen the Guardian's mercy?
Don't you threaten me.
I am not threatening you. I am telling you what the Guardian will do.
I love how it just dropped me there. I don't think that was supposed to happen, but it's kind of funny that it did. All right, here's where we're supposed to go. Let's do this thing. Okay, got that, and I have that reserve overshield from using the finisher on the Hive Ghost from before, actually, which is kind of nice. I mean, it will come in handy at some point, but let's start making our way up the steps here. We're just going to kind of take out everything along the way, and again, all those explosions. Look at this. This ogre can't even do anything. It's so funny. I absolutely love it.
So where is this spire?
You'll see. Start the ritual to bring down Savathun's illusion.
Yeah, will do. Let me just take out all these acolytes first because there's a lot of things going on here. Okay, so we have orbs, and this is where we're sort of actually getting an introduction into the mechanics that are going to be important in the seasonal activities. We're going to start with these right here, which are solar crystals. These have to be physically hauled to a location but can be used as melee weapons. However, they slowly burn us, so if we hold on to them for too long and try to use them as a weapon for too long, we will die. So we need to be quick about this. Now, using invis to my advantage, so I don't, oh gosh, that's what I don't want to do is get stuck. Using them to my advantage is also generally a good idea. Can I make it in time? Oh my gosh. With no health left. I definitely took the wrong path there. All right, let's take a little bit more of a path that makes more sense. And yes, I know there's Thrall chasing me. I'm just going to pop him with that. One of them, all right, I can't believe they didn't die to that. All right, now we'll go to the next one. We'll take a more straightforward route this time, especially with our invisibility. No punching Thrall. We'll just kind of let them all run past me. Okay, now I don't have much of a choice. Ow. Hold on. Here, I'm going to do that so I can get Devour going. Perfect. Sweet. All right, awesome. So now we got the crystals up. That's the first set of mechanics. All right, let's start killing. Here we go. Okay, you go first. And I'm going to kill you if I can. I missed my shot there. There we go. Kill you. And then we're going to use our second shot on this guy after he tethers himself, which is even better. And down goes him. Okay, now we need to empower the crystals. So hold on a second. You'll see this how this works in a moment.
The arc charge between the crystals.
Okay, so we have arc crystals here. What we need to do is we need to transmit and transfer the arc to each of the crystals one by one, but I'm going to kill these wizards first, otherwise they're going to really mess with me here. So they need to go immediately, and then I'll show how this works. I have no smoke up, which is good. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to punch a crystal. We want to transfer it over to each of these crystals, and as soon as we punch one, it actually resets our crystalline charge timer, so we can just kind of do this over and over again with a whole 15 seconds to spare, which is nice. So there we go. It was only 4, right? Okay, for some reason I was making sure I didn't have 6. All right, now we have a boss to fight. Let's do this thing. So it is Big Wizard Lady. Take her down. Hang tight. Okay, there we go. Yep, use your super. I'm going to use that opportunity to go invis for a moment, as all of these guys look to cause trouble. I'm going to get Devour going here. And then we're going to hit you with this. Oh, come on. Show me your face. Yeah! Oh, that was amazing. What a great machine gun. Woo! All right, all of you, get out of here.
Channel your magic with the witch's staff.
Yeah, sure. Okay, up here we go. Let's give this a shot. See if we can open ourselves a path.
You now wield hive magic and have entwined it with your light.
Whatever you face next, will test that power to its limits.
You think your guardians are up to scratch?
What will we find inside the spire?
A way to take down her sister. That's all she told me. And that's all I'm telling you.
And she'll uphold her bargain? Give us the information we need.
I'll bring her back as soon as Evu's taken care of. Then you can ask her yourself.
Guardian, traverse the spire. We shall see what morsel of truth awaits us.
All right. So, there we go. We have now been given the next seasonal quest line, Toil and Trouble, although I don't think it hasn't actually dropped it into our inventory yet. It wants us to complete a round of Savathun's Spire, which is one of the 2 seasonal activities available in this season, much like with Season of the Deep, although there's a little bit of a different flavor this time around. And unlike Salvage, this is a 3-person activity and not a 6-person activity, so a little bit different this time, but there are some twists and turns to it. So what we're going to do is we're going to just jump right on into that thing really quickly. But you are going to actually see it in action in the next episode, guys. Thank you all so very much for watching this episode of Let's Play Destiny. I hope you all enjoyed it very, very much. And next time, we'll be running through Savathun Spire together and seeing what it entails for ourselves together. So yeah, see you all then.